On day 4 of our European tour, October 2009, we went from Bordeaux, where we stayed at the Ibis Hotel, to Pamplona via Biarritz and San Sebastian. On the way out, we took a photograph of this Alstom Citus tram, which was part of the metro circuit of Bordeaux, and then we took some photographs of this old building and have no idea what the name of it was, but the fountain was what attracted us. And then we left the city of Bordeaux and drove south towards Biarritz. It was about 2.5 hours drive through the countryside, and it's well known for its wine region. My wife had a lovely sleep and took some photographs, but most of them were blurred, and the rain stopped us from getting good shots. With the disappointment of not seeing anything of Bordeaux, we were excited to see some of the sights of Biarritz, including the Hotel de Police, which is pretty much a landmark. If you look up Biarritz on Google search, you'll come across this hotel pretty much straight away. We took this photograph from a car park big enough for the bus near the Casino Biarritz, and that's a photograph of the casino near the seashore. And then we went for a walk. And you can see everybody looking around wondering what to do, and that was because the tour guide had a break, and he stood alone for a while just to have some time off. So we wandered down to the beach, and somebody else took a photograph for us, and then we walked up past what I thought was the casino to a place called Parade de Biarritz, the lighthouse. So we were able to enjoy the break before the rain started again, and we took some photographs of other passengers on the bus, as well as some selfies standing underneath the lighthouse. There's one of myself and one of Linda. In the park below the lighthouse was some brickwork on the ground called the Quadrain Solaire, and it's basically a time chart, probably for the sun. I've forgotten the story behind it, but here was a family, an Australian family, from our bus, and here's a photograph of the lighthouse park. But the weather started to come in, the winds came up, and this is a photograph looking over Biarritz and the Bay of Biscay out in the distance. And I've forgotten what the rocks around the area were called, but one of them was a piece of land rock jutting out from the beach called the Bassata Rock, and there was a bridge and a walkway onto that outcrop, and it was quite beautiful. So we wandered out with the rest of the people and took some photographs. This rock was quite beautiful, and it was obviously built for tourists to take photographs of the surrounding sea and beaches and rocks. Here's a few more photographs of my wife and myself, and you can see the lighthouse in the distance. So we'd walked a fair way, and in the background there you can see the Fisherman's Port at low tide. And I'd always wondered about French ports. and this one obviously is protected by the rock wall during rough weather. We did stop in Sebastian, but I've lost all the photographs and video of that. And then later on in the afternoon we arrived at Pamplona and went straight to the hotel and dealt with all the booking in and bags, etc. And then gathered outside for a tour of the township. And we were driven to the centre of the town by the bus, and then we went for a walk through the different sites of Pamplona. And here's the Plaza de la Castillo, and some of the side streets that ran off it. And in amongst all this we took a photograph of my wife, and there was a shop there because the Pamplona is famous for the running of the bulls. This is a bit of a cheesy photograph of the bull beside my wife. So we walked through the streets where they had the running of the bull, and basically they would have 6 or more bulls. The origins of this event came from the farmers who would gather the bulls and run them down the streets to fields where they would slaughter them for a festival at that particular time of the year. Here's the photograph of the old town hall of Pamplona, and we continue to walk down through the shops and had a look at some of the old Spanish antique shops and gift shops. So then we met up again at the Plaza de Toros in Pamplona. Here's a long shot of the bullfighting arena. Now, Ernest Hemingway was an avid supporter and lover of bullfighting, and here's a marker about Hemingway, and then a statue of Hemingway, and the tour guide gave us a little bit of a talk after that.
Local festival that became world famous. He wrote a book, The Sun Also Rises, where he describes the running of the bull specifically in Pamplona, and then 2 other books I believe he wrote about bullfighting. One of them is Death in the Afternoon, where he explains about the bullfight itself, how it works. Well, this place here, because you have a bull ring over there, when you look at it, I mean, it looks more like a soccer stadium, doesn't it? It's huge, very big. So they have much more than 1 bullfight a year. They have it during the sun full moon. Can come a bit closer. They have it during the sun filled evenings. Every evening they kill the 6 bulls as they let run. But also on many of the Sundays in summertime, Sundays very typical, they have a bullfight.
So here's a Google stock photograph of a bull running down the streets of Pamplona. And the video was produced by myself, and it's the end of another exciting video of our European tour, October 2009, day 4 of Biarritz, San Sebastian and Pamplona.